to Boston Postmortem?
Not quite half of you. How many people of you have gone to Autodesk Users Group meeting? Half of you. Michael, you have.
I did.
At USC?
Awesome. Oh yeah.
How many people of you went to PAX? Yeah. All right. How many people of you went somewhere I haven't said yet? Carvia, where'd you go?
You know how you mentioned Mount Ida once? There was that 3D stimulus thing that went on.
3D Stimulus Day is great. Michael, where'd you go?
I went to this video game testing thing at MIT that Kim took me to. What was it called, Kim?
Gambit, yeah.
Yeah, Gambit. Yeah, what was that?
Going to that stuff is not only fun, it's actually networking. Going to those things, meeting students from other colleges, meeting people who are hiring from other companies, that's all networking. And even if you go to a networking event, don't really talk to anyone because you're nervous or shy, that's okay. If you go to Boston Postmortem for the first time and you don't feel like talking to anyone, you don't have to. Get a seat in the front, bring a notepad and a pen, and when they say these are the companies that are hiring, write them down. That doesn't require that you talk to anyone. Ideally, if the hiring manager in there says, come see me after the presentation if you're interested, you go and you introduce yourself and say, hey, can I have a card? I will be applying tomorrow. Just want to introduce myself and say I'm really looking forward to applying to your company. I've wanted to work at Turbine for many months. That easy. You don't have to go into every single detail of why you're a good candidate unless they're asking. Chances are there's a line of people behind you waiting to talk to them. But again, networking, if you're shy, just go to these events, see what they're all about. Maybe the second or third time that you go to Boston Postmortem, you decide you're going to talk to some people. Or your friend started talking to someone and pulled you into the conversation. You use that. I'll tell you something about your job search that doesn't work. Sitting at home and applying to jobs after you graduate doesn't work. And I know this because I work with alumni who try to do that. You graduate, you're tired, you sleep for 14 hours straight for the next 3 weeks. I get that. And then you start applying to jobs online while playing video games in your basement of your home.
Oh my God.
It doesn't...
I can't multitask on my computer.
Your kitchen, your backyard, whatever. It doesn't work. If you're a phenomenal artist that has 10 years experience, maybe it works. But networking is what gets you jobs. Half the jobs, 3/4 of the jobs that you will get, you will learn about not from being online and applying to a job, but by going to Boston Postmortem, by knowing someone at Neoscape, by going to volunteer at GDC or PAX. You're going to get jobs from word of mouth, not from applying online. Yes, you got to apply online, but if you apply to a job at Turbine, and then a week later you go to Boston Postmortem, and you meet a QA tester, and you applied for a job in QA. You start talking to that person, and they say, hey, I'll put in a good word for you. That's how finding a job is. Not from sitting at home and not talking to anyone. So if you're shy, if going to networking events makes you nervous, you need to get over it. I really don't know what to say. I think there are pills for that. That's all I have to say. You can't just sit at home and apply to jobs. We don't work in an industry where that works. If you're an accountant, investment banker, that might work. Animation, gaming, special effects, visualization, motion graphics, no. It's a very competitive industry. FaceTime is what works. Yes?
Is there any specific events where you go to more than 2D work?
No. You know what sucks? There are no good 2D events out there. 2D artists have an uphill battle. I'm going to tell it to you straight. Most students who are here focus in either 2D or 3D, and many students actually officially enroll in the game concentration. For 2D animators, there are lots of companies that hire 2D artists. Cool. From Mass Art and RISD. And I'm not trying to knock anything. We have an amazing animation program here, but there are a lot of people who come from Mass Art and RISD that found companies, and they go back to their alma mater to get interns and artists resources. And they don't even think about little old New England Institute of Art. We're not even on their radar. They've got the direct connection through the teacher that they used to have. You know, they have floods of Mass Art people who probably don't have as good a work ethic as you guys, who may not even be as good artists, but they are pretty damn good artists. Math, Art, and RISD grads are your competition when you're a 2D artist. It's some stiff competition. They have some good talent. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Every 2D project that you do, someone's mouth has to drop open. When you show it in front of the class, at least one person's jaw needs to drop. In a good way. Not in a, geez, that's bad way. You need to knock the socks off everyone consistently to be competitive in the 2D world. There are fewer jobs in 2D. There are fewer companies that have 2D production. Have we had alumni work at 2D companies? Yes. They've typically done 2 or 3 internships. They have amazing portfolios. They spent a lot more than 120 hours interning. They may have taken an extra semester to graduate. They probably volunteered. They attended SIGGRAPH meetings. They talked to people. They did extra informational interviews. They did above and beyond. And you can do all that. You can be a great artist and you can be really involved. You can get a job in 2D. If you're a half-ass artist who's going to sit at home and apply to jobs and not leave your house, you have an uphill battle. So what you choose to do with your career goal is up to you. But if you want a job in 2D, you have to be super awesome and you have to hit the pavement, be out there all the time. But there are really no good organized events for 2D animators. Fablevision, fablevision.com, has 3 times a year, they have parties. If you go to Fablevision's website, you want one of each? Take one of each. That's that. Take one of each. If you go to Fablevision's website and sign up for their newsletter, you will be alerted to the parties that they have. They probably send out emails 2 or 3 times a month. So don't miss the one that actually talks about an event. The other emails talk about children's books that they've published, new media initiatives, all that kind of stuff. So you have to get good at reading your email. And you have to usually RSVP. And they're really cool. There's a bunch of cool 2D artists there. Just so you know, Fablevision will never hire you. If you want to intern at Fablevision, do it. I would prefer that you do it as a first semester senior internship and then do another internship in your second semester. Fablevision has a very strong track record of hiring our students as interns and then letting them go when they're done and not hiring anyone. Don't think you're going to be different. You can be the best 2D artist. I've had some good 2D artists at Fablevision. They're a very small company. They have a queue a mile long of 2D artists waiting to be freelancers there. They're not going to hire you. So don't do it as your final semester internship, because then you're going to have to be looking for a job pretty soon. Those are my 2 cents about Fablevision. Love them to death, not going to hire you. Fablevision is next to Neoscape. Physically next to Neoscape.
Oh.
You walk past it every single time you go to the Autodesk Users Group meeting. So you know where 2 places are now.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Networking. You need to network. If you're shy, you need to get over it. If you know shy classmates, you need to bring them with you and make them feel comfortable. Safety in numbers. Bring them with you. You need to learn how to talk to people without bad breath. Seriously. You could be the best artist and have a great rapport with someone, but if they keep doing this and they don't want to talk to you anymore, it's not going to help.